At Ruby, every call you answer will be unique, and each of the many companies we represent is unique as well. Our clients count on us to answer their every call with care, just as an in-house receptionist would. In fact, our team of virtual receptionists is so skilled, callers rarely realize we're not in the same office as our clients. Now, all of this may seem a bit daunting. You may be wondering, how am I going to memorize the details of each of these companies so I can confidently answer their calls? The short answer is, you won't. You don't need to, and in fact, we don't want you to. What you will learn is how to handle any call with professionalism and friendliness, and how to respond eagerly to any question or request for help, even when you don't know the answer. And the best part is, doing all of these things is a lot easier and more fun than it might seem. Are you ready to learn what it takes to be a Ruby? Here we go! Imagine you have a phone call to make and you're dreading it. Let's say you noticed a strange fee on your bank statement. You're confused and a little upset, and yet you put off calling the bank because you know what will likely be waiting for you on the other end of the line. An awkward maze of pre-recorded options, long hold times, and ultimately a conversation with someone who may not even be able to help you. Now, imagine how great it would be if you were confident that when you called the bank, you'd immediately speak to a friendly, professional person who was not only eager to help you, but whose upbeat attitude would brighten your day. If that were the case, you certainly wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone. That's exactly the type of service we promise to our clients and their callers. We strive to not only help each caller, but to add a bit of joy to their day, leaving them feeling better than before they called. How do we make each caller's day? Our tone of voice and word choice are key. Simply put, the tone of your voice sets the tone for each call you answer. By speaking in a warm, friendly tone, you encourage your caller to be friendly in return. Choosing positive words is exceptionally important. As a virtual receptionist, you won't have the answer to every caller's questions or be able to provide the specific service every caller requests. But there is always something you can do to help your caller. By using the right words, you'll make every caller feel taken care of and appreciated. Let's learn a little more about these positive words. Please and thank you are words we don't hear enough of these days. Slip these polite words into your conversations often. When a caller thanks you, always reply with an enthusiastic, "You're welcome." Show your eagerness and enthusiasm to callers by using words like "absolutely," "certainly," and "I'll be happy to," instead of lackluster replies like "sure" or "okay." Your exchanges with callers will often be brief, so it's important to make every word count. Using exuberant words like wonderful, perfect, fantastic, and great is an easy way to brighten any caller's day. What other upbeat words can you think of? Aim to add one or two to every conversation. Using proper grammar is one of the ways we let our professionalism shine. Over the years, we've found two pesky grammar errors that tend to sneak into conversations now and then. Ending sentences with the word "at" and using the word "can" when the word "may" is correct. In most cases, there is no need to end a sentence with the word "at." The word can usually be dropped altogether without changing the meaning of a sentence. For example, instead of saying, "I'll be happy to find out when your appointment is scheduled at," you might say, "I'll be happy to find out when your appointment is scheduled." Use "may" instead of "can" when seeking permission. If you're asking a question of a caller, "may" is almost always the correct choice over "can." You'll use the word "may" often. "May I have your name?" "May I take down your telephone number?" "How may I help you today?" "May I place you on hold for a moment?" You'll need to gather some information from most callers, and it's important to do so politely. Ask for information rather than demanding it, and always ask nicely. Phrases like, "I need your name," and "name, please," are big no-nos. Courteous questions like, May I have your telephone number? And may I ask who is calling? Are Ruby classics. And don't they sound nice? Addressing a caller by name is a great way to create a connection. If you gather a caller's name, use it in your conversation. Try repeating it just after you've gathered it. May I ask who's calling? This is Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. I'll try Jim's line for you. Using bossy or commanding language is a surefire way to turn a friendly conversation to the dark side. Instead of saying, "Just a second," "Hold on," or "Can you hang on?" Try saying, "One moment, please," or "May I place you on hold for a moment?" Instead of saying, "What?" Try saying, "Would you mind repeating that?" Instead of saying, "Who is this?" or "What's your number?" Try saying, "May I ask who is calling?" or "May I have your telephone number?" Knowing how to answer every caller's question or solve every caller's problem is not a Ruby job requirement. Rather, we want to equip you with the tools you'll need to reply confidently to any question or request. You may not know the answer to a caller's question, but you'll gladly help that caller find the answer, right? And you may not have the solution to a caller's problem, but you'll happily put the caller in touch with the best person to solve it, right? That's what matters. When faced with a tough question, leave "I can't" and "I don't know" out of your response. Accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Instead of "I don't know," try "That's a great question. I'll look into that for you." Instead of "I can't," try "I'll be happy to find the best person to help with that." Having all the answers isn't important, but your desire to help is. By staying positive, you're sure to impress your every caller. Go Ruby! Communicating in a helpful, upbeat style is one of the most important parts of being a member of the Ruby team. In fact, our communication style is so important to us that we've named it. We call it Ruby Tone. What is Ruby Tone? Ruby Tone is the perfect blend between friendliness and professionalism. It lets our callers, clients, and coworkers know that they're taken care of, appreciated, and supported. It's grammatically correct, but fun and never stuffy. It's always optimistic. It's refreshing. It's what sets Ruby Receptionists apart. The importance of our core values is probably already very clear to you. Communicating with the Ruby Tone is one of the ways we express our core values. Ruby Tone will play a big part in every interaction you have at Ruby. It's a way of saying, "I'm confident, fun, professional, and I'm here for you." How do you communicate all of that over the phone? Well, it's about word choice, inflection, and of course, tone of voice. It's also about expressing your sincere desire to help. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to let your Ruby Tone shine. When speaking to someone in person, we use facial expressions and body language to help us express ourselves. But that all goes away over the phone. Your voice is all you have. That's why tone, inflection, and word choice are so important at Ruby. We aim to project that Ruby tone in all conversations, and that takes focus. We want to use our tone, inflection, pace, enunciation, and word choice to show we're friendly, confident, and eager to help. First, let's define some terms. What are tone, inflection, pace, and enunciation? In simple terms, your tone of voice indicates the attitude or intention behind your words. Take the word hello, for example. I'll say the word hello 4 times, but each time my tone will express something different. Here we go. Hello. 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 Clearly, tone makes a big difference.
Here's a cool thing. Although callers can't see you smile, they can often hear you smile. When you smile, you naturally speak in a warm tone of voice. If you're having trouble with tone, try smiling when chatting with your callers. An added bonus to smiling is that it'll make you feel great. Inflection is a way of emphasizing certain words. When I say, "How may I help you?" the emphasis is on the word you. When I say, "How may I help you?" the emphasis is on the word how. When I say, "How may I help you?" the emphasis is on the word help. Your speaking pace is also important. You want to speak slowly enough to give yourself the opportunity to enunciate each word. Rather than saying, "How may I help you?" slow it down and go with, "How may I help you?" Enunciation and pace go hand in hand. If you speak too quickly, you're liable to mumble. Take the time to pronounce words fully. Be careful to avoid slang and try not to say anything that you wouldn't write. Instead of saying yeah or yep, say yes. Instead of nah or nope, go with no. Instead of gonna, stick to going to. Same with supposed to and coulda. Switch them out for supposed to or could have. Trade woulda in for would have, and mk in for okay or yes or certainly. A caller's first impression is made when we read a company's greeting. We want to make a great impression on each caller, and that means speaking in Ruby tone from the get-go. Aim to read each greeting with excellent tone, inflection, pace, and enunciation. Let's use this greeting as an example. If we read it in a monotone, it falls flat. Thank you for calling ABC Company. How may I help you? If we rush through it, it's difficult to understand. Thank you for calling ABC Company. How may I help you? If we are unsure of the greeting, we won't sound confident. Thank you for calling ABC Company. How may I help you? If we answer the call in a bad mood, it's sure to show. Thank you for calling ABC Company. How may I help you? But if we take a breath, read through the greeting before answering, and focus on being friendly and confident, we're sure to make a great first impression. Thank you for calling ABC Company. How may I help you? After reading the greeting, your conversation with the caller begins. Usually, callers will ask a question or ask to speak with someone. We answer calls for all sorts of businesses, and you'll be asked questions that you're unsure how to answer pretty often. Here's the good news. You don't have to know the answer to a question in order to give great customer service. All you need to do is use your Ruby tone and a few key words to guide your caller to the right place. Let's start with a simple example. Say a caller asks if Linda is in the office. Well, we're not in the office, so we don't know. But we can certainly try Linda's line. It's as simple as offering that. I'll try her line for you. May I ask who's calling? How about trickier questions? Let's say a caller asks how long it'll take for a delivery to arrive. Now, we may not even know what is being delivered, but we can still respond in a confident, helpful way. I'd be happy to find out for you. Just one moment, please. Are you picking up on a theme? Positive phrases like, I'll try her line for you, and I'd be happy to find out for you can help in almost any situation. Let's compare a positive, confident response to one that's not so great.
Do you have any 597s in stock?
I don't know about that.
Well, can you find out? Do you have any 597s in stock?
I'd be happy to find out for you. Just one moment, please.
Great. Thank you.
These two responses are worlds apart. You're getting a sense of the Ruby tone and how we use it to make every phone conversation a positive one. One last thing before we wrap up. You're a unique individual, just like every member of the Ruby team, and we want your individuality to shine. Sure, we want our team to communicate with callers in a consistent tone, but that doesn't mean we want everyone to sound the same. The words we use are important, but it's the intention behind our words that sets our company's tone apart. If you're focused on being helpful, upbeat, confident, and professional, your tone is sure to be perfectly Ruby.